What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Crypto Plebs channel. It's your boy Jumpman Crypto. So, yesterday there was a bombing with Israel and Iran. I think everybody's already heard this already that's in the community. I think Iran struck back today and it's been kind of going back and forth. The markets have took a tumble down. And, it's kind of unfortunate. It just seems like, man, we recover from one situation, we start going into another situation and back into another situation, and it just feels like it just doesn't stop. I get it, guys. I've had a lot of people message me, if they should start selling, if they should start trying to buy back lower, and what's the next step. And the only thing that I'm saying, guys, is just relax. When things like this happen, there's nothing really you can do other than either DCA, go touch some grass, or come up with a strategy other than trying to sell your bags. Right now, what's going on over there, there's a lot of stuff that's been going down over there for hundreds of years. We're not going to talk about, either side on this. I'm neutral. I think that at the end of the day, I'm more on the lines with just peace. And I know other people have their political differences, and that's perfectly okay. Here in Plebs and in the KGU, we just try to keep it neutral. We're all about making money here. Unfortunately, these type of situations do present buying opportunities into the market, even though they do come at the expense of life itself. But this is the sad reality, guys, of just investing in the markets. This is sometimes how it goes. So just enough with that. But we just pray that things can hopefully get resolved soon, and we can get back to trucking up to the upside and move on with this kind of stuff. So anyways, you know there's been attacks. I think they're going on what, wave 3 or 4. So hopefully this resides soon. We need to start preparing for the next major catalyst, which is going to be the FOMC that's coming up, I believe, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And the big question of the day is, Mr. Jerome Powell going to cut rates, or is he going to hold rates? So I think right now there is a virtually zero chance of him cutting rates this June, and basically I think 4 to 6% in July. I know these odds were a lot higher back, during previous months, but since this data has been coming out, the odds of us, having a rate cut are starting to diminish a little bit. We're still projected to have these 2 rate cuts later on. I'm hoping maybe September. But I know Donald Trump's putting a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell to get these rate cuts. And, there's even been words about Secretary Scott Bessent potentially taking his job, which would be kind of crazy because we know that this guy's going to turn on the money printers, and, things will start going crazy. I don't know if that would be good for markets in the short term. Like I said, all this short term volatility and all this uncertainty definitely would be causing a lot of, panic in the markets more than what it's already have. But look, I think it's just best to kind of formulate a long-term plan and not really focus on the short term, and just hopefully things will pan out. Backtracking a little bit about these wars and stuff like that, we had a few bombings back in October and November and even April of last year, and those have actually resolved in about 60 to 80% pumps in the market from after these things resolve. So eventually they are going to cut rates, guys. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen other than the big dogs. And the best thing to do is just kind of, have a plan and stay ready. So with these whole rate cut things, I think that, look, I think that, look, September is probably going to be the time that things are going to get called out for rate cuts. Uh, I had to maybe change my strategy up a little bit. I was looking for this summer pump, and it might still be on the table. The markets are forward looking. A lot of times with crypto, they sell off way before the actual stock market happens. So I think right now the markets are just trying to get some type of idea for when rate cuts will happen. So we're going to be listening up to this next FOMC meeting that comes up, and I want to make sure that I'm listening for key details. If any type of clues, that Jerome Powell may be hinting that he's cutting rates. I know this guy is kind of like a pull string doll. He's very hard to read, but if you can kind of listen in and dissect what he says, hopefully we can get some type of clues to see what's happening. But anyways, guys, let's get into some tokens real quick. For one, we have a big pump that's been going down with Aerodrome Finance, and a lot of people have been asking me, Jump, what's going on? What's going on? Well, Coinbase is integrating them straight into their app, and so obviously anything that's affiliated with Coinbase is going to do well. But guys, I've been pushing this token for a long time. This token has been super bullish even since last year. It had a few of these highs in the $2 zones, and it peaked again around here in December again, and it's came back down with all the other altcoins. I know a few people I was seeing through the messages in the Discord. They were asking me if Aerodrome was okay. I even saw a few people saying that they were going to sell and buy back lower, and then we had this 30% pump, and now they're probably kicking themselves in the rear end now. Guys, look, you have to relax. Aerodrome is the number one base token on base. Wait, that didn't make any sense, did it? It's the number one DEX token on base. Coinbase is backing them. This thing has been a big dog. It's an inflationary token. So, when we're in bearish environments, this token does bleed down. But when things start turning up, this thing really kicks it into overdrive. So, guys, just relax, enjoy the ride. If you're too over leveraged, then divest or sit in some cash, but don't sell your bags. This token is a token that I've been really bullish on for a long time. Last year, I made a shitload of money off this token, and I'm confident that we're going to do it again. Slowly, a lot of other bigger dogs are coming right back into the token. So it's good to, maybe we might not go back to this $2. Maybe we might just hit $1.50, maybe even to $1.80, which is fine. That's another 3x from where we are. I'm not going to say no to a 300% return. Are you? So definitely, please keep Aerodrome on the list. I've been posting the buy zones and stuff like that are in the Discords. I'm not going to say it here. If you guys are trying to get that, you guys know what to do. You can follow us here at the KGU, or you can join plebs and we can keep you guys locked in. Either or. I'm not going to be giving out any free game to anybody anymore. If you guys are tapped in with both Discords, you guys are most definitely getting these alerts and buy zones. But yeah, man, Aerodrome is a big dog. This thing's going to continue to do well. I think that this thing has got a lot more legs in the tank. So don't sleep, guys. And then we got to cover ETH real quick. ETH was doing really nice. It came up all the way almost to 2,900 from that boxy we had in there. And, with all this war stuff, man, it shot it right back down to this 2,400 zone. I was able to scoop up 5 or 6 ETH tokens here. And we're just going to try to run this back up, man. I still am bullish. I still believe that we're going to hit a new all-time high for ETH. Again, I'm not going to be giving out any levels in this right here. You guys have to tap into the Discord. Make sure that you're following the Jumpman channel in the Discord and making sure that you guys are not sleeping on me, because I'm telling you, dude, ETH is going to do the dang thing. Stable coins run off of ETH. Most of all the DeFi projects are run off of ETH. It's always great to be diversified. All the other coins that we're going to talk about are great, but it's always good to make sure that you have the number 2 in your portfolio. And then with that being said, let's go to the number 3 real quick, guys, which is going to be XRP. And, that number 3 could be up for debate to number 2. I know a lot of my XRP fans, they love it. I love it too. I actually scooped some up here in this lower zones. Now, like I said, I'm looking to take it back up to this, 250, maybe 275. You guys know that that's a crucial area of resistance there for the token. But we got these ETFs coming up, guys. Same thing that we talk about all the time. Big money. The whales are accumulating these tokens while retail is selling, and they're getting flooded out of these bags. I always going to keep telling you guys over and over, these lower areas over here that we talk about in the Discord are going to be the best buy zones. I know some of you guys have these orders way down here under $2, waiting to get picked up. Look, I'm not sure if we're going to go down that low again. Most of the people that have buy orders down that low, they've already scooped up and they're already holding a good amount of the token. So I think that, they're probably just chilling. But anybody that wants to be added into their bags, you guys know what's up. I post levels on these all the time in the Discords. And, look, as far as the long-term growth potential of XRP, that solely depends on how it gets integrated into the world of crypto and even, around the globe. if banks are truly going to be using XRP, if this is really going to be the future of finance and payment sources, most definitely, this is going to be going way past, the projected price predictions that most influencers have for this token. But we just got to wait and see. And there's also beta plays, for XRP. There's going to be the XLM, XCN, HBAR, and Quant, all the other ones. But if you guys are looking for the cream of the crop, of course XRP is going to be that one, guys. So if you guys are holding XRP, make sure to type XRP down in the chat, like my boy Keenan Grace always says in his videos. And guys, make sure that you are staying up to date and making sure you're paying attention to all the levels that that we're posting in the Discord. Okay, guys. All right, next is BTC. BTC got that push down to 1027. Nice V-shaped recovery again. Look at this, man. We'd had this last week, in another V-shaped recovery back to an all-time high. We might have enough steam to push us back up to maybe 113, 114. We keep having these V-shaped recoveries, guys, and we come back even stronger. So let's see if we got let's see if we got what it takes to get pushed back up into this next level. And hopefully, we can get back into another all-time high soon. All right, let's see. Let's get into the next token. And then the next token is going to be AVAX. Guys, I had that buy order at 2085. Man, I was getting smoked down here. And but you know what? Look, I'm about $1 and some underwater on that position. It's all good. Like I said, just keep adding to the bag. I keep telling people, look, man, I'm focused on the long term. I'm not really focused on the short term. I keep telling people to zoom out and just look at the chart. We have so much groundwork that we have to get done with this token that it's just insane, guys. I mean, look, we were, 4 years ago, we were at $150. Now, do I think honestly we're going to go back there? I don't think so, but I would love to see, at least $60 back on AVAX again. I think anything less than $50 is just absolute bullshit. I think that we have to get back up here, man. If this is going to be the super cycle, if this is going to be, Trump's hanging his hat on that he's going to be the crypto president, that crypto is going to be, the biggest thing in the United States, this token has to get back to somewhere between 60 to 80 bucks. And, like I said, if that happens, I will be so happy. Your boy will be buying a Lambo with the Plebs logo right on the hood. Shout out to my Plebs community, by the way. All right. And let's see. Let's pull up one more token since we're here, guys. You know what? Let's pull up another token. You know what? Let's pull up. We talk about Soul all the time. Let's pull up Farcoin, man. All right. Guys, Farcoin got that Coinbase listing. Uh, look, this was literally last week, and I know a lot of people probably didn't get this trade that I called out, but it's all good, man. It just shows you that you guys gotta kind of tap in. I called this at 90 cents around here. I gave you guys about a 60% pump on that. I was able to move some of my tokens that were not performing well into Farcoin. I moved up 60%. I took some profits around here at that 140, and should have rolled back into here, but I was thinking that we're going to come down lower. So right now I'm just sitting in cash on this. If it starts coming back down, I may buy back in. But the strength on this token, man, is just insane, dude. Look at this, man. Like this thing is like the next Pepe. I think that honestly, Farcoin has probably the ability to get in around $5 to $6. A long time ago, I bought a lot of Pepe around 5 million market cap, and it ended up going to what 8-9 billion. And if I never would have sold, man, I would have been a multi millionaire. And I took a huge L on that. So I think that this is the next one that will probably give people that a second chance. Just remember, guys, it's a meme token and it has a lot of risk on it. And but I think that once the market conditions get right, this token will send at least to $5 to $6, guys. And just real quick, if you guys are looking for a crypto exchange to buy stuff and trade meme tokens on, you guys are more than welcome to use the links below to FEMX. FEMX is sponsoring your boy, and I've been working with FEMX for about a year or so. We're currently in a tournament position. We were actually in the top 10, but this whole market drop off, man, got us kind of wiped out. We moved all the way down to 20th place. So all my members, if you're hearing this, we need to get back up to this top 10 spot. Jumpman does not like to lose, and I would like to get us some of that prize money where we can donate it back out to the members and donate it out to you guys. But look, at the end of the day, just for us being a small channel and to even be in the 10th place, even if it was just briefly for a moment, it was such a cool, surreal feeling, to be able to accomplish that. And, look, at the end of the day, I wasn't expecting to even to get that high. Most of the group that we have are a lot of beginners. And we've been able to build a pretty good trading team. And, look, you just got to kind of like, take a step back and just, there's always next time. So, hopefully we got another 14 days to still see if we can make a big turnaround. But for right now, we're just trying to, figure out what happened and just make the right adjustments. A lot of this was with the markets with what's going on overseas. So, it is what it is. But, like I said, FEMX is great. I've been with these guys for a long time, and they have a lot of selection from different coins that that are not on Coinbase and all these other normie exchanges. So make sure to check out these links below. But other than that, guys, nothing much. I just want to come on here real quick and talk to you guys. I miss you guys. I'm starting to do these videos like once a week, man. I feel like they're just getting a little repetitive, saying the same stuff over and over. But I am most definitely active in the group every day, talking with the members in here and making sure that everybody's staying up to date. And we do have a few community picks that we're vetting right now, and we'll be sharing these very soon with the discords. So you guys take it easy. Shout out, Jumpman. Crypto is outie.